A round of applause. It's day 10 of this brand communications course. You've made it. We are pretty much halfway. How are you finding it? Because for the first 6 days, we looked at some pretty core areas for brand communicators, such as your voice, understanding your audience, how to switch your tone up, thinking about your stakeholders. We've done some integration around day 7. And since day 7, on the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and so on, we are looking at each of my 7 strategic zones and applying it to that content that I was bringing you in this lecture series. And the outcome for this course is for you to begin to think like a brand communicator. So, this is really about increasing and improving your reflexivity, the kind of strategic thinking that is required for brands to communicate super effectively, super powerfully, so that you don't experience that awful thing, cognitive rot, because you are relying on an LLM to do all the communicating and the thinking for you. No, this is my mission with Serena's playbook. It's to not only level up your strategic thinking using my 25 years now of comms and media experience, but also to be this figure on the internet who is saying, don't give up, we must resist, just do your bit to really protect, cultivate, and level up your ability, your wonderful cognitive ability, all these faculties that you have as a human being. Humans have created incredible things, and we start with brand communications, of course. So I am Serena. If you're new to me, if I'm new to you, etc. Then I also have a systems thinking background. I'm currently in the final few months of my master's in science in systems thinking, and my thesis, my research, my dissertation is around how political commentators online, specifically YouTube, have their ideation influenced by algorithms, by curated feeds, by AI, and how that feeds their programming, their ideas. So, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, I do bring that in here. It's definitely on my Media and Politics commentary channel, which I've had for longer. But you are here. Let's go for day 10. We've got whiteboard going on. You should have seen my attempt at the actual thing. It didn't happen. I didn't show you that. Delete. Day 10, brand comms. We're going to look at my strategic zone 3. This is about your risk readiness, thinking about your reputation management, your risk assessment, forecasting, anticipating, all these wonderful things. I have a dedicated playlist for you for zone 3, which is all about managing your risk as a brand. And it's one of my areas of expertise, if I'm honest. So much of my work in public relations, and I'm a chartered public relations practitioner, so much of my work is about managing reputation, has always been about getting more awareness for my client, for their project, multi-industry, and also dealing with any crises that happen to reputation, to a client's rollout, all sorts. And I do bring those in to my videos, to my tutorials as case studies, just to kind of bring some of these concepts to life. But remember, this isn't about you following some formula. No, no, no. You are here to really do that reflexive thinking, to take notes, to ponder, to reflect, and for us to discuss together. And you can find more on my Discord. Just search for Serena's playbook. Risk readiness. What can go wrong in an AI accelerated environment? My lord, the speed of spread, the speed of damage. You clip this. I said something controversial. It's now everywhere. But not just that, it could then be regurgitated, repeated using deep fake. It could be put out by multiple bots. In fact, if you tuned in to my AI bots that gossip episode, where I looked at an academic paper with real case studies and evidence of how AI bots actually gossip and spread misinformation or lies, you've got to tune in for that. So we are facing a high degree of uncertainty. And so the speed of spread is there. through social media, your regular rumor mill, and, heard it on the grapevine, and then actual content creation, regeneration through multiple means. And so this is what could go wrong. And you know what? It's so common. It's happening all the time because everyone has an opinion. And I know this because I'm in the media and politics commentary space, but by golly, everyone has an opinion. And so, what we need to do for sure, is to be prepared. So you need to monitor and you need to have a monitoring infrastructure. If you don't have a team, you need to at least do it this way, especially if you have a higher risk of controversy. If something that you're saying or something that you're putting out there, or if your brand speaks to a controversial issue, which really, might be around activism. I mean, there is so much of that going on at the moment. Gosh, I'm looking around at my setup and it really does need a dust. So, who's mentioning you? You've got to look at who's mentioning you. Now, here are some questions, here are some prompts for you to think about. But if you don't have a monitoring infrastructure, there are some ideas coming. So, who is mentioning you? Is it your competitors? Remember the stakeholder episode. Is it your competitors? Is it somebody who is community adjacent? And what is being created with your content? Is it being regurgitated, repeated, recreated? Is it deep faked? And where is misattribution happening? Let me say that again, misattribution. Where is it happening? And is it by press? Is it by journalists? Is it by influencers? Who is misattributing what you are saying, what you are doing? Sometimes you have to actually ask for retraction. Look at your stakeholder map. Look at the episode prior to this one, and look at my Zone 2 playlist to understand where your threats could possibly emerge. Is it your competitors? Is it partners that you've fallen out with? Is it a community that's adjacent to you? Once you are able to identify, yes, this stakeholder, you can build your ecosystem of risk. So you've got your ecosystem telling you where all your stakeholders are, but then you've got your ecosystem that's also telling you, these are the risks. And this is the thinking that's so important so that you can understand this is where you are vulnerable because we all can be. We all can be. Strategic question. Do you have alerts in place or are you flying blind? Let's have a sip of this product placement coffee. Um, Flying blind, goodness me. I mean, you could have alerts in place for sure. You could have Google alerts or any alternative. You could actually have media monitoring set up. So lots of big brands, they subscribe to these services from software companies that do the media monitoring for them, and you will get a briefing daily. I remember back in the day, Gorkana used to be used loads. Since then, when I've been in-house or with clients, I've used a whole load of different methods. Sometimes I will just search for the company or the client's name, and I will do a Google search of news and do a keyword search. You could do it manually like that. You could set up alerts as well. So even if you don't have a media monitoring system set up, just set up some alerts. There's just um, even the most manual things work. And then if something is super controversial, someone's going to tag you in something, someone's going to DM you, message you, text you, WhatsApp you, and let you know. You'll get tagged and atted. Tagged and atted. Let me know in the comments how you are finding these 21 days, 21-day course. We are halfway. So this is the bit that I really like to focus so much on. It's about pre-build. It's about the preparation. What risks require your response? What are the risks that require response versus strategic silence? Because sometimes you do have to just leave it a while. Let the internet do what the internet does. Let it make all the noise. Let it continue in that vein until maybe it will subside. And then there's more I would say scope and fertile ground for clarity. There's more receptivity, and you can come back and put out your response. Sometimes you need to provide an immediate one. There are common templates that you can use. Sorry, templates you can use for common scenarios for sure. Let's zoom in a little bit just so you can see this clearly. There are common scenarios, such as being misquoted, having the unauthorized uh, AI generation of your content, or you're like, something that's like you. There could also be a real collapse in context, something that you said was requoted or used and it was completely out of context. So you've got to think about who is speaking, on whose channels, and what tone of voice are you going to use. So should something happen, who is ready to speak? And I've actually said this in my 5 days of PR course, which you can also find, there's a playlist for it. You have to sort of know who your team is, your inner circle that you can rely on, who's going to speak on your behalf when necessary, which are the primary channels that you are going to use. If you set up an expectation for your audience, for your key audiences, then they know, something's happened. We know that such and such is going to communicate on this channel because that's where they tend to put out these kinds of statements, or they will always send an email. And then there's the voice and tone. And your voice may remain the same. You're always keeping your North Star core values in mind, but your tone may shift. If you're in a TikTok live or an Instagram live, you may find that you are going to be a lot more informal. But if you have to put a statement out via press or on an official channel like your website, or put out a press release, yes, it's going to change. Here are some highlights. Here are some takeaways, some things that I really want you to bear in mind. When we do risk readiness work, when we do reputational management work, it overlaps with everything else. So it overlaps with your zone one, your strategic awareness, your awareness of yourself and your vulnerabilities as a brand or as a communicator, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, someone building a brand in public. It also overlaps with your zone two, stakeholders. Are there any stakeholder threats? Nothing's ever working in isolation. And when you are able to do reflective thinking around this idea that everything is uncertain, everything is interlinked, interdependent, that is the complexity of life, and there are many things happening at once. The title of my book, click on the link and you'll learn more about it. It's all in my description. And so when you understand that there are many things happening at once and everything is overlapping, nothing is ever working in isolation. Everything, especially when it comes to your brand, your reputation, your brand communications, it's very much a living organism. And so you have to approach it in an agile, very present manner, being aware of many things. And being ready for these kinds of risks is not paranoia. It's called being smart and strategic. You have to be prepared because this kind of stuff happens to the best of us. So it's about preparation in an environment when you know things are moving fast. That second point right there. Things can move very fast at the speed of like something else other than light or sound. Speed of light, speed of sound. Um, Reading the patterns so you see risks and opportunities before they hit. This is a massive one. And it's why I'm such a fan of systems thinking. That's why I'm such a fan of doing systems work. And, and which is why I will continually promote reflexivity, this kind of in the moment reflection on on complexity, because when you do that and you sort of remove yourself from the subjectivity of it all, you begin to spot patterns. And when you spot patterns, you are improving your risk readiness. How did these hit? How do they hit? Tomorrow is all about zone 4 media literacy. We're going to look at everything we've been covering from the lens of Zone 4, zeitgeist awareness, media literacy. That's going to be day 11. That's tomorrow. How have you been finding it? It's been absolutely wonderful doing this series. I'm so glad I did it. It's been hard work. Let's not let's not get it twisted. It has been quite challenging managing a full-time 9 to 5, single parenting, postgraduate study, content creation here, political and media commentary, as well as keeping up with my yoga practice. And gosh, I haven't practiced my guitar much, which is quite sad. And usual domesticity, that's right, domesticity, but it's all worthwhile. I do speak about it a little on my personal TikTok and YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out. But come back here tomorrow, of course, same time each day. Once a 21-day course is done, I will, of course, drop bonus pieces of content, such as me looking at content creator news and doing commentary on that. But otherwise, there will always be a Monday tutorial video that you can tune into. That is the core thing that you can get over here outside of the sort of bonus period of content. Right now, you're in this bonus period of content. If you're tuning in February, the first 21 days, this 21-day brand communications course, let's shout it from the rooftops. It's about improving and increasing our ability to be reflexive thinkers. And eventually, you can be relied on as that person in a communications crisis to be the person on the spot providing the best solutions, innovative ideas, and to get yourselves or your client or the brand out of a hole, because you've gotten pretty sort of good at practicing. There's lots of variables, lots of uncertainty. Let's not get caught up in the moment. Let's zoom out. Even if you've got a million calls coming in, messages, and several people are atting you online, you can just keep calm, because things calm down, and there are many things happening at once. If you want to learn more about my book, click the link in the description, and I see you tomorrow.